Okay, so here's my first progress report of the year. So it's currently September 21st. So I've been in school for about a month and a half now, and I'm actually doing pretty well. I like all my classes. So first I have quantitative reasoning. It's a little challenging, and I made a 72 on my first exam, which was disappointing because I thought I did well. But I'm going to go to some math study sessions and change the way I study for that class so I do better next time. Let's see, then I have English 1101, and I love that class. I find it pretty easy too. I've already turned in my narrative essay, and I'm waiting on my grade for that, but I feel at least an A. We're working on an annotated bibliography and a profile essay. I'm not nervous about the annotated bibliography because I've done one before, but the profile essay could be a little challenging. But I like writing, and it's about a topic I'm interested in, so I think it'll be okay. Let's see, next I have Biolab. Definitely my most challenging class, and the class I least look forward going to. I have a B in that right now, which is not aligning with my SMART goal, but we have a midterm coming up, and I have made more friends in that class to help study and work on answers with. So I think if I continue to invest in people in my class and focus on that class and not be discouraged by it, I can start doing better. Then I have my biology, just regular class notes class. I had my first test and I got a 94. This was actually, I took biology freshman year of high school and I never made an A on a test, so I was really proud of myself, and it's because of how I studied. So in that class, normally I will type the notes that the teacher writes on the board, and then after class I'll rewrite my notes in blue ink with all the diagrams. And then the week before my exam, me and my friend studied for about 2 hours in the library every day, going over just questions and challenging one another. And I'd say that's how I successfully got an A on the exam, and that's how I will continue to study for that class. And so I think if I implement multiple study strategies like rewriting notes and asking myself questions, I can do better in other classes as well. And then I have my survey of philosophy class, which is probably my favorite class. We have lots of extra credit opportunities that encourage us to go to women's panels, or this week we're doing Constitution Week, so I went to an orchestra concert, and today I'm going to a Times Talk little seminar, so I'm excited for that. I like how my brain is pushed in that class, and most of the material is pretty easy, and I'm excited about the content. I can't wait to continue more of that class. I turned in my first essay for that class that I was pretty confident on, and I went to my professor's office hours for that so she could read over it and give me her feedback. So I'm hoping that what I changed after going to office hours will help me get an A on that, which aligns with my SMART goals of having my papers read before turning them in. And like I said, for the English paper I turned in, I went to the Writing Center and got a lot of help on that. And so I think getting feedback from other people really helps my papers. Let's see. And then this class, my academic seminar, I like it because it encourages me to, see what's on campus, and just go to the workshops or the nursing fair, which I really enjoyed, just to kind of see where my options were for nursing. And definitely don't plan on changing my major because I love helping people. Because in my emails, my little letters at the end of CMA, so I had my CNA and I expanded my knowledge and field to be a CMA, and I absolutely love and miss my job so much. So I definitely think nursing is the right thing for me. But I'm on front campus right now. One of my favorite places to go between classes to work on homework, because it's warmer than the library, and it's been sunny this week, which makes me really happy. So I think that's all for this video and life update necessarily. So next week, hopefully I'll have some grades to report about on my writing assignments. Alrighty, this is my second progress report for my project. Today is September 28th. not as sunny as it was today, but today I'm in my room. Another place I like to study. Not my favorite, but since I don't have too much to do, I figured I'd just like kind of chill out in here. But update. So math, quantitative reasoning has been going pretty good. I went to office hours last Friday to talk about my test, and she was really helpful and gave me good study tips for my next test, so hopefully I do better. She said to like make flashcards to kind of go over equations and practice problems, and I was like, I can do that. Let's see. Next is English. I got a 93 on my paper, so I'm really proud of myself. And I'm currently working on our profile essay, which is due next Sunday. I went to the writing center again for brainstorming, and my tutor said sounded like I knew what I was doing, so just gonna make sure I keep on putting in effort and all that stuff. Next I have philosophy. I have a paper due next Friday. I'm gonna go to her office either this Friday or sometime next week just to make sure that my paper is, covering what it should be covering. So for one of my 3 SMART goals, that covers one of them was the writing center and going to office hours, because that means that my papers are getting looked at with professional eyes before I turn them in to make sure that I'm on the right track and can get the best grade possible. Let's see. Next I have bio lab. I had my midterm this past Monday, and our grades aren't back yet, but I felt really confident about it because a lot of the material was stuff that was on our bio exam. So I felt like because of my preparedness for that test helped me for this test. But I also wrote out pretty much everything that he had covered on the study guide outline, and I felt confident about that. I could kind of like recite everything in my head. So that was really helpful for studying for that, so I felt confident there. And then we didn't have a midterm in my regular biology class, but she calculated like a midterm grade, which was 4 quizzes and a test, so I have a 94 in that class, which is amazing because I think the only A I ever made in the science high school class was an on-level class, so I'm pretty proud of myself for having an A in biology. Am I taking any other classes? No. That's all of them. So I'm really proud of my performance so far, and I think all the time that I've spent every day between the library and just either outside or in the dorm has helped me just stay on top of my things and be a good student. I did discover the 3rd floor of the library this week, and I love it. Nice and silent for reading, which I like. So I'll definitely be utilizing that a lot. Socially, last Friday we had Big Little Reveal, and after that, me, my big, and my grand big, we all went to dinner. So it was nice to kind of like set aside time even after that kind of like crazy and hectic little event to just like sit down and have dinner together. And about once a week, my big and we will hang out, whether it's like in the evening or like grabbing coffee in the morning. So I think it's nice that we have like a scheduled routine to see each other and kind of just like catch up, relax, maybe like rant a little bit. So I feel like so far my week has been good, and yeah, thank you. This should be my 4th, but it's my 3rd progress report. I may or may not have forgotten to do it last week, but there wasn't much going on. I had 2 essays. Okay, this sounds like a lot. I had 2 essays due, one for philosophy, one for English, but it was also the Wednesday before break, and I was just trying to do it all so I could leave for home earlier. I met with my philosophy teacher before I turned in my essay, and she said all of my points were good, and just to kind of like expand on some thoughts, so I edited that and turned it in. As well as with my English, I turned it in a little bit earlier after my conference with my teacher and going to the writing center. And I felt confident with both my papers that I turned in, and I am following one of my SMART goals, which is to get all my papers looked at before I turn it in. So I felt really good about those, and I've already turned in a paper for each of those classes, and I did really well on those. So I'm feeling good, which means that my SMART goals are working. And then, so this week, I have not a lot going on, just kind of catching up since I'm coming back from break. And then I have a math test next Wednesday, which I'm going to study differently for than I did last time because I talked with my teacher after getting a 70 on my test, and she's like, okay, next time you study, make flashcards. So I'm gonna make flashcards and study that way. This week I also have the Perry Fair coming up with my sorority as a sisterhood event, so that's something on the calendar to get myself out there, not always studying, having some fun. And that also achieved one of my SMART goals, which is having a planned date on my calendar with a group of girls, just so I can have some fun, get to know them better, check up on one another, all that fun stuff. So just a quick rundown. Math is my only B. English, I'm doing well in, but we're starting a new unit on textual analysis. I'm fairly pretty good with those because I wrote a lot of those in high school, so I'm not nervous about that. But it is our longest unit, so that could be interesting. We'll see what happens. Let's see, then I have philosophy. We started this new book. So first we were reading Republic by Plato, which is about Socrates. Loved it. Now we're doing Meditations by Descartes, and he just thinks a little too much in my opinion. So I'm having a hard time getting through that book, but I'm excited to go to class and kind of get everything figured out because the teacher's always super helpful. I don't think I have a bio test coming up super soon, but like kind of soon because we're in the second unit before the test. I'm kind of dreading studying for that because I spent so much time studying for my last test, but I did really, really good. So it'll be worth it. Plus my friend and I can get coffee while we study, so we can motivate ourselves. Then I have my biology lab, which is going good. I got a 90 on the midterm, which was amazing. It made my whole day. And then I have this class, my academic seminar. We started talking about like planning out our semesters for the next following years before getting into the cohort, which I love. Planning is just right up my alley. So I'm looking forward to my following semesters here and hoping to maybe take some like summer classes to get a little ahead and lighten my load for our sophomore year. So yeah. Alrighty, this is my 4th update video. Today I am in our little study room in our hallway, about to do some more homework. But a little overview of my classes. I had my math test this morning. I feel really confident about it because this time to make a better grade, I made flashcards and I studied with my dad for 2 extra sources, so I feel more confident for that. So let's see, there's that class, and then I have English. We have started a new book and it's going to be for a textual analysis essay that I'm pretty confident about. It's our biggest one, but that's what I wrote a lot in high school, so I'm not nervous about that, but I'll still utilize office hours and the writing center. We have philosophy. We're kind of coming to the end of our book, so we'll have a paper for it due, I believe, in the next 1 or 2 weeks. I got a 98 on my second paper, so I'm confident about this one. I'm not really worried. But I'll still make sure I go to my teacher's office hours to make sure that I'm covering the content correctly. Bio lecture, I have a test next Thursday. Kind of like dreading studying because it was a lot last time, but I know it was worth it, so that'll be my motivation. And then my bio lab class is going well too. All of my quiz grades have helped keep that class at an A. So my only B is quantitative reasoning, which is my math class. But I think with the next couple of tests coming up, especially since I feel confident about this one, I think that'll definitely help my grade go up to an A. And other than that, all my other classes are A's. So that's my first SMART goal. My second SMART goal is getting all my papers reviewed, which I have been doing and have definitely paid off because I have not made a B on a paper yet. And then my third one is, keeping in touch with my friends and hanging out. And I do get lunch with my friends every day. We go at 12 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 11 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's just a good time to catch up. I see my friends a lot because in my sorority, so at chapter and chapter events, so it's very fun. I text them every day, so I feel like all 3 of my SMART goals have been met and are easily attainable and have kept me on track in college so far. So thank you. Alrighty, we're back for my fifth video. Normally I do them on Wednesdays, but today's Thursday and today we registered. I'm feeling very confident and I'm excited about my schedule next semester. I had to rework my biology lab, and English class because they were full, but it didn't impede with the times that I wanted. I have a different teacher for biology, which I was kind of upset about, but I know it's all going to be good. I've heard great things about this other teacher. And then my English class is now with the teacher I have in this semester, so I'm like, okay, I'll have a familiar face next semester as a teacher. So I'm excited for that in my schedule. I had a biology test today. There were some parts that I could have studied a bit better, but overall I felt really confident about it. And it was only like 3 questions that I was like iffy on. But I did the same thing that I did last time to study for my test. I rewrote my notes that I took in class, then summarized my rewritten notes, and then studied with my friend in the library for about 3 hours using the whiteboard. And then I also FaceTimed my dad for about an hour yesterday, and he worked me through everything and would ask me questions. And I did just a couple little Quizlets this morning, so I felt very prepared. But I'm glad it's over so I can take a little break from studying. Math, we're just working the next 2 weeks and we have a test, so this unit's a bit shorter, so the test should be a bit nicer. As I said last video, I did really good on that test, and so I will continue to use note cards to make good grades. For English, we're in the biggest project. We're writing a paper. We kind of started doing that on this Friday, so tomorrow. I'm pretty feeling confident about it. I like the subject I'm talking about, so I think that'll make it a good paper to write. Philosophy's going super well. We have a paper due next Friday, so I'll have my professor look at it before I turn it in. And then let's see, biology lab's doing really well. I've done well on the quizzes that we've been taking. I've been understanding the content, and then yeah. So that's a summary. Just keeping at doing my homework, staying on top of things, and getting things checked by teachers to keep my all A's. Working at math, I'm almost there, so hopefully this next test gets me to an A. All A's, getting my papers looked at. Socially, it is Halloween weekend, so I'm gonna go to a haunted house with my friends on Friday. Unfortunately, I do have to go to a funeral on Saturday from one of my sorority sisters that passed away. But although it's not a happy event, I'll get to surround girls with like love and support that really need it. And so maybe we can build each other just up. So it's not necessarily social, but it's kind of like building a connection kind of through hard times. So there's that. And then Saturday I'm just hanging out with my friends. Sunday I'm getting my life in order. So that is an update in video 5. Alrighty, it is November 2nd. This is my 6th video update. We are in our last month of the semester. I'm super excited, but also super stressed because there's a lot going on. But I have maintained all of my SMART goals. So, quick run through. Let's see, we have math. I have a test next Wednesday. And I'm ahead this week, so I'll be able to start studying earlier, and I'll do what I did last time. I'll make flashcards and rewrite my notes and stay with my dad because that got me a better grade. And I think since this test is only covering 2 units, I'll be able to focus more on the content that we're doing. Let's see, next we have my English class. We have a big technical analysis essay due in a couple weeks, but we have like little increments that we turn in on time. I'm going to do his office hours soon and the writing center to get that looked at before I turn it in and finally. And then next I have philosophy. I have a paper due this Friday and I'm going for office hours to get that checked over, and then I'll have 2 more papers due December 2nd. Then I have bio lecture, which is going well. I got a 100 on my last test, so all that studying paid off. And then I don't know when my next test is, but not for a week or 2, I'd assume. And then bio lab, which is going well. I've been doing good on my quizzes. And those are all my classes. So I pretty much have all A's except for my quantitative reasoning class. But I think with this next test, I'll do really well. And that'll bump my grade. So I have all A's besides that class. I've been studying and rewriting my notes. That's been very effective for my classes, as well as getting each paper looked at before I turn it in. And then lastly, for my social life, I'm meeting up with some friends that go to UGA and a friend from home this weekend at Georgia for the game. So that's on the calendar and I'm excited for that. But other than that, there's my update. Alrighty, we have another updates video. And one of the biggest things I've learned thus far is that I am an afternoon coffee gal. I don't really need that pick me up in the morning, but in the afternoon I do. So, not that that was a SMART goal, but it helps me achieve my SMART goals. So, today I had a math test, and I studied for it like I always do, rewrote, study cards, and I studied with my dad. And I felt really confident about it, and I got to do some extra credit, so that should be helpful. So I don't have math for the rest of the week. I have, and that's my only class with a B. So I'm hoping with my study tips, rewriting, I'll hopefully get that to an A to meet that SMART goal. Then we have English. I have a giant textual analysis paper coming up, and I just went to the writing center to talk about my outline, make sure my thesis was good and my counter argument made sense. So now I have a better vision for my paper. Let's see, next I have philosophy. I just turned in a paper there, and I consulted her at office hours about it, which helped me edit and revise to match the criteria. And I have 2 papers coming up in that class, both due on December 2nd. But I may not write one of them because she drops the lowest grade. And since I've already made 2 high A's on those, if I make a high A on this one, I probably won't write the last one. Then we have bio lecture. I have a test next Thursday, so I'll start studying this Thursday once we finish the material. I'm kind of not conflicted. I just don't really want to study, but I'm going to, so I can continue to have my lovely A in that class. So I'll rewrite my notes, rewrite them again probably, summarize those rewritten notes, go to the library for a couple hours and work it all out with a friend on a whiteboard, study with my dad, and that test should go dandy. Fingers crossed. Then I have this class. I'm just doing my videos. And it has helped me reach my SMART goals. It keeps me accountable. So when I make my videos, I actually have progress. But I'd say that all my SMART goals have been met. My social one. I do go to lunch with my friends every day. And instead of this weekend hanging out with friends, my family's actually coming in town. So I get some good family time, which is still social. But I'll stay in contact with my friends, obviously, while my parents are here. But I say all my SMART goals have been met. Besides, I'm working on that A in quantitative reasoning. But other than that, every paper has been seen by someone in the writing center or professor before being turned in. I have all A's besides that one class. And I've been going out with friends and maintaining good and healthy relationships. So that is our update for this week. Alrighty, this is my 8th video update. It's about to be Thanksgiving, so I'll probably only have one more video update for you guys as the semester comes to a close. But I've had, I had a biology test I got a 94 on, so that's exciting. I used the same way I studied the past times. I have a math test coming up the Friday after Thanksgiving break and a biology lab final the Monday after break. So I'll study for those, use flashcards because those have seemed to really help. And I have a paper for English due today. It's our biggest paper. But I went to the writing center and I talked to my teacher a lot. I went to a conference with him and emailed him about it, so my papers had many readovers, and I'm feeling confident in it. I have my last philosophy paper due the Friday after break as well. I need to start writing it, but I'll go to my teacher before I turn it in, so my SMART goals are met. Still working on that A in math, but I think if I really put some hard work in, I can get an A by the end of the semester. So that is my update there. Socially, my parents, I got to see them yesterday, which is super nice. I go to church with my friends every Sunday. We have lunch together, so that is my update. This is my final video update. It is November 29th, finals week. I took my biology lab final yesterday. I'm waiting for those grades to come in, but it should be an A. I have my philosophy paper due this Friday, as well as my final test for math this Friday. I have my English portfolio due next Monday, and my biology lecture final test next Friday. And I'll study for those, prepare for those, and get those papers checked like I normally do to follow my SMART goals. Not as much social going on this week, just so I can focus on finals, but I've enjoyed following my SMART goals this year to be successful, especially in math and science, so I can have a good nursing GPA, and I look forward to next semester. But thank you for an amazing semester.